allowing oneself to get here and the easiest way of doing that is connecting to the breathing. Long, deep breaths, mindful breaths. Letting the belly, the chest fill up with air. Exhaling. With every breath, I find myself more present, more available. More alive, more energized. Softening the pace. No creases in the eyebrows, the eyelids are softly closed, not tightly shut. Soft is the face, like the Buddha in meditation. Soft. Or the jaws unclenched. Soft is the tongue, simply lying at the bottom of the mouth. Soft are the shoulders, moving away from the ears. Soft is the mind, in which softly the thoughts fall. I, the witness, the Sakshi, do not follow the thoughts. Or shun the thoughts. Instead, I, the invariable presence, simply am through all changes, through all variables. I neither move nor am I still. Both stillness and movement are unopposed to me. I am the self-effulgent consciousness. Not affected by time nor space. Untouched by sorrow or fear. I lend my sustenance to the whole universe without needing anything from it. Being myself is simple. Being myself is easy. Being myself is comfortable. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. When you are ready, you can open the eyes slowly. Om Shruti Smriti Purana Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda-vibhagine Vyomavadvyakta-dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 Namaskar to all. Welcome to a 10-day retreat on Advaita-Makaranda. The last time we had studied Advaita-Makaranda here itself, in this very room. We had many weeks and no time constraints. Now we have to be on Advaita, not Makaranda, but Advaita Marathon. And complete these 28 verses, or at least pretend to have completed. That's also okay. So, a few things about the retreat and the schedule, I suppose, before we begin. Where is the schedule? Is it there? No schedule? No? There it is. Okay. So, 2 classes in our morning. That means 7 to 8, and then 8:30 to 9:30. Then you have a little bit of a break, 11 to 12, yoga class, then 12 to 1 chanting class, 1 to 2 lunch, and then we have a little afternoon break till 4, tea at 4, 4:30 to 5:30 we have sadhana panchakam, and then 6 to 7 again Advaita-Makaranda. This is the schedule. And then we have some additional things that are happening, which one of which I remember and I can announce. Sunday, May 5th, Pradosha, we will be going to the Dakshinamurti shrine at Harinder and Gordon's place, and then soon after the evening class here for Pradosha celebrations. Okay, and we are not planning to put that on the what's its name, Zoom, but if you want, you can request it, and then we can put it on Zoom upon request if people want. Okay, so that is one small addition to the schedule. Anything else? No. Yeah. Everybody, warm welcome to everybody. Many people have come from different time zones and may go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi. We hope not. Chai is flowing freely in the other room, so please make sure of partaking of that. But nonetheless, wherever you have come from, warm welcome to everybody. And without much ado, we will look at introducing this text. This text actually is a serious look into our misconceptions. Because this is what Vedanta is. Different ways of talking about misinterpretations, misconceptions, wrong ideas centered on the I. Starting with, I'm a donkey. Yes, you want it. why everybody called me that when I was growing up. So therefore, it must be true. Pujya Swamiji used to always joke. In a room full of people, you say, you go there, room full of men is there. And then you go there and say, Rama, half the people will look up. Because half the people, it's a very common name. Sita Rama, Raja Rama, Shapad Rama, so many Ramas. So many Ramas, so little time. Correct? Then, after a little while, you go in the same room and say, Krishna. So many Krishnas. Krishna Prasad, Krishna Murti, Krishna this, Krishna that. So many Krishnas are there. And the other half of the people will look up. Then you give a 15-minute break and then go and say, idiot. Everybody will look up. Because that word idiot is, how do you translate muttard, I suppose, yes. So that word idiot is much more familiar to one than one's own name. That's what it shows. Commonly familiar. Even if it's not your name, you answer. That shows how deeply entrenched wrong ideas about the I are. And that correction doesn't take time. The idiot can be told you are not an idiot. Easy, right? Like the story of the prince and the pauper. The prince was lost and thought he was a roadside riffraff, urchin. And then he was nicely cleaned up by the minister. He was lost. So the minister finds him, trusty minister finds him somewhere playing with all the garbage, dirty, matted hair. So takes the little boy, puts him in a flea dip, cleans him up, and combs him, makes him all spruced up, takes him in, what is that called? Palanquin, in a big procession to the palace. And he's told, you're not a roadside boy. This whole kingdom belongs to you. You're a prince. The boy just nods his head, 3-4-year-old toddler. Then suddenly the people who are bearing the palanquin, suddenly it's become light. What happened? The fellow jumped. The little fellow jumped as soon as he saw the next garbage can on the road. So it's not for want of buddhi, intelligence, that one is not understanding. It's not for want of instruction. Gurus are there. Gurus galore are there. So many gurus, so little time. And not for want of instruction. Then why is it that I don't know? Because it's deeply entrenched. Deeply entrenched. And certain fears are there. Resistance is there. Annoyances are there. Annoyances in the form of, I've been studying this so long, why I still haven't got it? That itself becomes that itself becomes a deterrent. Therefore, I just zone out. Already this is Advaita-Makaranda round 2. Okay, what has happened? Nothing. Kuch nahi hua hai. Nothing is happening, nothing will happen. What's the point? This itself becomes a deterrent. I'm not fresh. I'm not listening properly. So I can't blame that Shravanam is not giving its results. I cannot blame that Shravanam is not working, because that itself is the Mukhya Sadhana. Mukhya Sadhana means the primary way to get rid of ignorance. The only way to get rid of self ignorance is through self knowledge. It's very clear. And we have heard that before many times. But what other conclusions can I draw when everything seems familiar? The words come and I understand. I understand the words Atma, yes, check. Anatma, check, check. Dharma, yes, I know that word. I've heard that word. Shravanam, listening, yes, I know that word. All the words are familiar. And sincerity is there. I have been since a sincere student, even though I say so myself. But I have been a sincere student. I have to start somewhere. Even Nachiketa said that of himself. Bahunamemi Prathamaha, Bahunamemi Madhyamaha. He says, among many people, if you compare me, I'm first, little boy. He says that. Some self esteem must be there to study Vedanta. We understand this from this statement. And then but he doesn't have hubris, ahankara. He says, in front of many people, I might shine, I might be ahead, and in front of many other people, I might come second, madhyamaha. I might be somewhere in the middle, never the last. So one has been a sincere student, and still there are pratibandhakas. Aha, one more familiar word. Obstacles to this knowing. We have two choices. Pack up. Okay. Oh, but I just got here. Okay, all right, stay. Then pack up. Pack up means pack up the enterprise. Okay, it doesn't work. Nothing is happening. Or go back to the drawing board. Drawing board means what? Why, what is that expression? Go back to the basics. Here, go back to have a look as to what is not working and why it is not working. And in fact, you don't have to do it all by yourself. Because secretly, or not so secretly, everybody is in the same boat. Even the one who says, I am a Vedantin and you're not. Even the one who thinks that. Vedantin, simple, in Vedanta. One who is in Vedanta. Vedant in. Okay? So, secretly, everybody is in the same boat of trying to chase away the ghouls of various pratibandhas, various obstacles to study, to learning, to being, being free from samsara. And if option number one is not viable, as you said, we just got here. So option number two means two things have to be done. The Shastra says. Because we don't have to figure it out. We think these are our problems. Even the sages had the same problems. Not only that, they also found solutions to these problems. So we don't have to invent the wheel all over again. We just have to go with the flow. And what the Shastra, in the form of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, beautifully says is this: Atma va are drashtavyah shrotavyo mantavyo nididhyasitavya. So Swamiji has 25 talks on just these three words: Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. Fantastic series it is. So, this is a sacred dialogue between two sages, Yagyavalkya and his wife, Maitri. One day he gets up and has an idea. Oh, that's not a big deal. Every day when I get up, I have ideas. I also have many ideas. What is your idea? Today I'm sick of making coffee at home. I'm going to a cafe. That is my idea. That is not the kind of idea that one is talking about. T.S. Eliot, in his poem The Waste Land, talks about these kinds of, what is that? Boring, mundane, inconsequential thoughts, plans, ideas. What is that poem? The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. He just saw, he was just walking. See, this is the difference between a kavi, a poet, and an ordinary person. Ordinary person will say, oh, funny name. You know, he saw J. Alfred Prufrock, furniture restorers. He was walking on the streets of England. He just saw that. And he looked inside just out of curiosity. And he saw one very bored man sitting there, which made him write this 5-page poetry. It had nothing to do with Prufrock. The love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. It's like the irony of the modern world, which is also the same as the ancient world. We keep saying modern and we feel good about it. No, but the same boredom is the same. Yeah. Boredom is not really an emotion. It is a kind of an apathy and a non-participation in things. Non-participation in reality is boredom. Non-participation in my own reality is boredom. And so here in this poem, he says, it's just a very, very interesting irony. Before the line that I want to quote, starts off very nicely. Let us go then, you and I, while the evening is spread against the sky like a patient, etherized, means anesthetized, upon a table. So you see that languid note right here. What is this? Is this a class on English literature or is this a class on Vedanta? Make up your mind. Hang in there. We have 10 days. Oh, you always say that and you start very slow and then you rush. It doesn't get used to it. You know my MO by now. Beginnings cannot be hurried. Swami Sakshatji is an expert in that. He will just give only just that. I have so much to learn from him. But now you are stuck with me. So here he makes a comment. This is in the voice of this languid, bored fellow. I grow old. I grow old. Okay, so what are you going to do? You're growing old, right? I shall wear the bottoms of my trousers rolled to stand out, to look different. This is the sum total of our ideas. That's not the kind of idea Yagyavalkya waking up one morning had. The kind of idea that Yagyavalkya had is called Shubhecha, an auspicious desire. He woke up with an auspicious desire and he said, declared to his wife, Ud aham yasyan, ud yasyan. I'm pushing off from here. Literally, that's what it means. You're supposed to. Pushing off means not that I'm going to some wonderful place or something like that, but I am going to choose a life of sannyasa, renunciation. You're supposed to get the permission of the mother, the wife, and any other dependent child. Interestingly, it doesn't say husband. Yeah. Because the Shruti knows husband will never give permission. No. Where is the coffee going to come from? Where is the food going to come from? Yeah. Who is going to look after me? Permission denied. Yes. Therefore, it says wife. Mother. Mother because she has a claim over the body. Again, it doesn't say father. Mother sacrifices a lot to take care of you. And then any dependent children, because they are wanting you there. So, so in that spirit, he wants to start a conversation with the wife, very dear wife. In fact, the Shastra says he has two wives. Don't come to the conclusion that's why he's going to take sannyasa. That would be a terribly sexist conclusion. Anyway, we don't know much about his relationship with his wife Katyayani. We don't know who she was, we don't know, don't hear much. We hear a lot about Maitreyi because she was on the same wavelength as he. So he says, don't worry, don't fear. And he's preparing her for this. And he says, there's a lot of, I'm a very rich man. Look outside. The money is nowadays we keep the money inside. Before we kept it outside. Oh, really? Yes, in the form of cattle. So many cattle, so much cattle. So cattle means, just say, oh, what's the big deal? He had thousands of cows. Cows means that much grazing land you have to have. That many people to give bath to the cows, to take them to pasture, to take them to water. So that all talks about wealth. I have divided the property equally between you and Katyayani. And aham off. I'm off. And Maitreyi has just one question. That wealth which you are leaving in order to go away to the forest to get whatever it is that you want to gain, will I get that with the help of the wealth that you are leaving? A very poignant, wonderful question. Being an honest person, he says, Vittena nasha asti amritatvasya. Na asha asti. There is no hope. No matter how positive a person you are and how hopeful a person you are, there is no hope of gaining the truth of yourself. Amritatvam. Amritatvam, immortality. The truth of yourself. There is no hope of gaining at all with the help of money. Money is not a means to moksha. A primary sadhana for moksha it is not. Money also is not a deterrent to moksha. Just because somebody has money, you cannot say, because you have money, you will never get moksha. If anybody says that, give me your money, then you will get moksha. Be very, very careful. That is not the idea. Money is not a deterrent to freedom. Freedom is the state of your heart, is the understanding of who you are. Freedom is what you enjoy as a result of understanding the truth of yourself. That cannot be either abetted or aided by money, nor it can be taken away by money. He says your life will be just as all these people who are well endowed and well equipped with a lot of sadhanani, lot of things. They enjoy. You will also enjoy like that. Then she asks the question. She says, you have to teach me. You can't just go off like that. We have shared everything half-half. She says, this knowledge cannot be halved. So I need the whole thing. You have to give me the whole thing. And then the story is they go off together. Very beautiful story. So the whole thing means what? He says, this Atma has to be drashtavya, seen. You have been studying Vedanta for so long. I know Atma is not an object of sight. Is Yagyavalkya making a mistake? Say no, so we can move on. No, he is not. He's not making a mistake because the words see is also interchangeably used to know, even in the English language. How could you not see that? Here, what I'm saying is, how could you have not known that? Did you not see this coming? There's nothing connected with sight here. It's merely metaphorical, figurative speech. I did not see this at all. So, drashtavyaha must be means as good as seen. Means known so clearly as though you're having darshanam. Darshanartham, atmanah darshanartham, in order to quote unquote as well see the Atma, what must be done? Kim karaniyam, what must be done? And then he says, Shrotavya. The suffix tavya has the force of an injunction. Must. You must listen to the Atma. Atma is worthy, Shravana Yogya. It is worthy of being listened to, and you must listen to the Atma. You have to absolutely listen to the Atma. Shrotavya. Then we have the Shravana Vidhi. That's why it's called Vidhi. The Shruti disabuses us of the notion that the Atma can be gained any other way. All the other things that we do are secondary practices to help us to get to the place of knowing. Yoga helps. How does yoga help? It stops you from complaining. That's why it is highly encouraged. You feel good. There is a sense of self-love. Yoga helps. Asanas help. Meditation helps. Meditation also same thing. It stops one from complaining. After meditation, no one complains, at least for the next 10 minutes. So therefore, it is wonderful. Even if you would say, I don't get out anything out of meditation, the people around you will say, please continue to meditate because we are reaping the benefits of your meditation. Because when you meditate, we don't have to deal with you. So, meditation helps. Action also helps. Even though action and knowledge are like oil and water, and never the two will mix, action cannot produce knowledge. But action can and does produce preparation for the knowledge. If the intentionality behind the action is such, if I say, I am doing this such and such a thing, for what? Atma Shuddhaye. Bhagavad Gita says, Yoginah karma kurvanti sangam tyaktva Atma Shuddhaye. Sangam Tyaktva is important here. The Atma Shuddhi, Atma here doesn't mean Atma. Atma means Antakarana, the inner instruments, mind, buddhi, etc. The yogis do action, karma yogis here do action for the sake of what? Result. No. Not for the sake of results. Yes, I do want result. What is the only result I want? I want to grow emotionally. I want spiritual maturity. That is what I want. So I guide the action with the intention that that's the only result I want. So the action also helps produce the preparation to gain the knowledge. So Shravana Vidhi means seeing this very, very clearly. Seeing that nothing else in this world, even if I stand upside down, that is good. We encourage that because blood to the brains we need. Yes. Priorities have to be there. But even if I stand upside down, I'm not going to get this knowledge by action or by any other means. This has to be written in stone. This is an invariable thing. This cannot be substituted. And it also, we cannot say sometimes the actions produce knowledge, sometimes they don't. No. Simply because what we are knowing or what we are wanting to know is the infinite. The finite action and finite result of action done by the extremely finite, tiny buddhi cannot produce the infinite. In fact, the infinite results. In fact, if there is such a thing as infinite, it cannot be a product. A product is things put together. Whatever is put together falls apart. Whatever comes together goes apart. Viyogantaha sarve samyogaha. This is Sureshwaracharya, Vartikakara, writing on this particular chapter in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. He says, Sarve Sanyogaha, Samyogaha, Vyoganta. Everything that comes together is until it grows apart. So action cannot produce limitlessness, infinity. Why? Because it is not a product. First thing we have to know about the infinite is not a product. Second thing is it cannot be away from me. If I said, oh, please have darshan of infinity, it's on my left. It's going by. Please catch it before it leaves. What will happen? The very fact that I say that makes that finite because I'm excluding myself from it. If I exclude myself from it, then it is no longer infinite. Infinite limitless. If it is there, it has to include me, and it must already be an existent entity. That's why the word vastu, which literally means thing in Sanskrit, is reserved for Atma. Everything else is avastu, 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 not vastu. Everything else is nothing. Atma is the only thing worth talking about, worth calling a thing. So then, if these two conditions are fulfilled, if limitlessness includes me, and if it's not a product, then that means what? It is already existent. So I don't have to produce it. It has to be merely discovered. Discovered as what? As the truth of myself alone. No other discovery is possible. Discovered as the truth of myself alone, it has to be. And for that purpose only, it has to be listened to, because when you read the Upanishads, and yes, there are many, many, many translations, you read the Upanishads, what happens? You get a headache. That's what happens. That is whole, this is whole, you take the whole away from the whole, and what is left is a big hole in the head. That's what happens. Nothing, we have to prepare ourselves for this. We have to drop spiritual romanticism. I will intuit this knowledge. We are talking, hello, of the nature of the one who is intuiting. And much as we would like to think intuition is a means of knowledge, it's not. It's not a means of knowledge. It is a gift from Bhagavan, you can say, but it's not a means of knowledge. It's not a means of knowing. And stumble upon this knowledge. We are talking of the nature of the one who stumbles. How can you stumble on yourself? Can't. Kartra karma virodha is there. There is a subject-object contradiction. Because I, the subject, can know any number of objects in the universe, but the subject cannot know itself as an object. Why? Because the subject is not an object, cannot be objectified, was never an object, is not an object. And therefore, enter Shravanam. Shravanam, Atmajnanasya Mukhya Sadhanam. It is the primary means of understanding. Shravanam wears out the wrong ideas. That's 9/10 of Shravanam. Neti, 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 neti. Neti is not that yoga aid, which is in the form of a nasal part, okay? It is neti. This is neti. Huh? Iti. Na iti, na iti, na iti. Not this, not this, not this. But that's very strange. Supposing if I have to have a class on this banana. Yeah. Banana Upanishad. Should I begin by telling you, this, my dear friends, is not an apple. Neither is it a kiwi. And it is most definitely not an orange. Will I begin like that? No. Why? Because you can clearly see. You have the means of knowledge called the eyes, which can clearly see that this is none of the things that it's being talked about. That's the first reason. You clearly see this is not an apple, not an orange, not a kiwi, not the computer. You have to do Vijati also. Yeah. Not the computer, not the table. You don't have to see it because one reason is you can clearly see that. You are operating your own means of knowledge called the eyes to be able to see what this is already. See that it's not an apple. Differ it. Make a difference from the things that you know. Not an apple, not this, not that. You see that clearly. That's the first reason. The second reason that there is no negation needed here is that the banana is not mistaken for anything else. You don't even think it's a telephone. Okay. You don't mistake it for anything else. So this teaches us say goodbye to banana position. Yeah. So now this teaches us two very, very important things. The first thing is that negation, it teaches us some very important points about negation. First is negation is necessary only when there is a mix-up. Then only you negate. There is a mix-up, therefore the negation is necessary. And the second thing we learn is that negation is an important pedagogical operation. And so, what is this operation? The words na iti, they are the scalpels. That is itself the operation. That is itself the pramana being handled, made live in the hands of the teacher. Just like the scalpel on a tray kept along with other instruments, that cannot perform the operation. The scalpel has to be handled by a surgeon, then only it will perform the operation. The Upanishad is pramana matram, it is nothing but pramana. But it has to be livened in the hands of one who has studied from his or her teacher, who has studied from his or her teacher, who has studied from his or her teacher, all the way to Bhagavan. Sadashiva Samarambha, that knowledge which began with Bhagavan. Oh, why do you bring Bhagavan into everything? Because that's who you are. Oh, then okay, then I'll listen. That is the truth of you. That's why we bring Bhagavan into everything, okay? Yeah. So because everything started with Bhagavan. You can't keep giving proofs for everything. Your great grandma. Was she there? Huh? Did she exist?
Yes.
Yes. Did you see her? No. How do you know she existed? Because I am here. That's what you have to say. Yeah. Great grandma existed. Why? Because I am the proof of her existence. That is how the parampara works. That is how the Guru Shishya parampara lineage, the teacher disciple lineage works. The proof of this teaching being in an unbroken line is because you are here. We are here. That is why it is there. So great grandmother existed. Who was the first mother? If you're a geologist, you say Lucy, one of the 5 matriarchs whose bones were discovered somewhere in Africa. Lucy also did not fall from the sky with diamonds. Okay. So Lucy also had a mom, right? Yeah. Who was Lucy's mom? Monkey. Monkey also had a mom. Who was chimpanzee mom, gorilla mom, monkey mom? Wherever you have to go somewhere. You have to say Bhagavan. Here also you have to say Bhagavan. Then this teaching is unbroken and it is still here simply because, contrary to all hopelessness, it works. It works. No more been there, done that, been there, done that. No more. Wake up. And cannot say it doesn't work. So we have Shravanam, listening to the knowledge categorically unfolded by the teacher, as though my life depended upon it, because it does. Not that I will die if I don't get this knowledge, but my life will be what? Not as interesting, not as full. My life will be filled with a lot of nothings. How much is a lot of nothing? Nothing. How much is a little bit of nothing? Still nothing. Surrounded by a lot of nothing, I'm still looking for that something, that one thing, knowing which everything should be as well known, gaining which everything should be as well gained. Surrounded by a lot of nothings, I am still seeking. What did I do in my last life? Seeking, 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 died off. What did I do the life before? Ditto. Before that, same old, same old. Before that, more of the same. Sometimes, in a moment of sanity, I think, when is this seeking going to come to an end? But immediately I stifle that thought with food, friends, and family. Yes, because I don't want to go there. It's frightening. When will this seeking come to an end? Because the answer is right now. Right now it can come to an end. Arjuna is told this in the Bhagavad Gita, right at the outset in chapter 2. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kuru nandana bahushakha hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Vyavasayatmika buddhi eka buddhi. There is only one focus, one thing. If you try to know anatma, it will be elusive. You can't. I want to be a famous botanist. Okay, keep studying leaves all your life. And then what? Then I'll study these kinds of leaves, then those kinds of leaves. And then I'll go to some other place and study that kind of leaf. But you are in a race with Bhagavan. Who will win? You're in a race with Bhagavan. How many leaves, kinds of leaves are there? Too many. Not enough for this lifetime. So better leave it. Yes. Leave that. What will you get out of it? Nothing. Maybe some PhDs in the plural, expert in leaves. And it affords a certain accomplishment. The collar is up, and yes. Well, I wish I had an expert in leaf come and tell me what. Yes, I'm here. Ask me anything. Short lived it is. Short-lived are the books this person writes, this hypothetical person we just made up. Why are they short-lived? Because those books, famous as they have their moment in the sun. They're just waiting for the next PhD. That's how you get a PhD. You get a PhD by trampling in underground all the other research that has done before you. That's your PhD. If that's how you got your PhD, how will the other person get their PhD? By taking apart at the seams and making threadbare whatever you said. Okay? Yes. Short-lived. Satisfaction is short-lived. But what I want is forever. Pushti, santushti, satisfaction, contentment centered on the self is forever. Therefore, it has to be discovered. Therefore, my life depends on this. If it is to be meaningful, if I'm not going to be keeping on chasing mirages life after life, thinking it is water. Oh, what a lovely body of water. Here are the shimmering sands, and right beyond that is the oasis. How many times have I been wrong? And why cannot I give up the action? This is what Shravanam calls for. To be ready for Shravanam, I need Vyavasayatmika Buddhi. Gita says this is what we were talking about. One Buddhi, knowing the difference between the finite and the infinite and stopping chasing the finite is that one Buddhi that is needed, the one way of thinking, one prioritization. When I stop chasing the finite, the infinite shines immediately because it is non-separate from me. One buddhi is needed, one buddhi alone is needed, and that is what I have to understand. But there's always a doubter in the room. Not this room, okay? In the proverbial room that we are talking, to whom the next verses in the Bhagavad Gita are going to be addressed. And the doubter says, what will the doubter say? How? Atma, Anatma, you're asking me to choose Atma. What will happen if I choose Anatma? Bahushakhaha Anantaha. Ananta here, we want one kind of Ananta, but unfortunately, this is not the kind of Ananta we want. Ananta in seeking, we don't want. Ananta means infinite. I do not want to be an infinite seeker. Instead, I want to be seeking the infinite. Bahushakha means many branched. Bahushakha. So just like a monkey goes from one branch to another branch, seeking, 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 I don't know why it is jumping. And it also probably doesn't know why it's jumping, but it jumps. And similarly, the mind is called monkey mind because it jumps from one pursuit to another heedlessly, endlessly. And that, according to Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, is a dangerous place to be in. It is dangerous primarily because there is a, what is that called? There is a pitfall. The pitfall of choosing the wrong thing. When you don't choose the right thing, what will you do? You'll choose the wrong thing, invariably choose the wrong thing. People with flowery talks. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitah vedavadaratah partha na anyadasti iti vadinah kamatmanas swargaparaha janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahulam भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते. he declares at the end. So you go on this anatma quest, the quest of the finite, and then what happens? The quest of the finite, infinitely executed, leads to confusion, leads one to be in the grip of people with flowery language and who mislead you. Catch the nose, says one. Catch the toes, says the other. Do this, do that. As I said, everything is helpful. They are secondary practices. The primary thing is to understand the truth of myself, which is a Swata Siddha Vastu. It is already established as infinite. It is already there. It is uncreated, unending I, which happens to be of the nature of unbridled joy, limitless. This has to be understood. And if this is not understood, then the choices are too many and it leads to confusion, wrong conclusion. And therefore, vyavasayatmika buddhi. Therefore, have this single-minded commitment to this knowledge. And here there are two ways of approaching it. Burn the bridges, burn the boats. It's just you and the sky. Say, I am going to study this full time. This is what I'm going to do. And if you had feelings of leaving the room right now, then the other choice is presented. What is the other choice? Make this the priority. Follow other, whatever else you have, pursuits. Let those pursuits subserve this. Number one, let those other pursuits, then moksha, not only subserve this, but let them help you for this moksha. How? By growing out of those pursuits. How do I grow out of the pursuits? By not focusing on the results of action, as we talked about earlier. By using the pursuits to grow emotionally. This is what is the teaching. Very beautiful, beautiful teaching. This is the phala of Shravanam. Shravanam wears out the welcome of wrong notions, mistaken ideas, dearly held about the I. It just banishes them and dismisses them. And then what does it do? It makes one ready to see the truth. One sees the truth immediately. And if all the other qualifications are there, then Shravanam is enough. We see Nachiketa listening to Lord Yama, getting up, leaving. In where? Chandogya Upanishad, correct? No. Just checking to see if everything is available. Kadha Upanishad. Then we see Shvetaketu also doing the same thing. He has to listen 9 times. 9 classes, enough for him. He says, yes, I got it. Arjuna also, after 700 verses, 18 chapters later says, Nashto mohaha smritir labdha karishye vachanam tava. Yes, I gained, I was lost. Now I am understood who I am. My delusion has dropped. And I see that fighting this war is not in contradiction with my nature. So sometimes Shravanam is enough. Shravanam, not sometimes, sometimes. All the time, Shravanam is enough. But if there is a dis-ease, like I know I'm Brahman, but I'm not behaving like it. I know I'm Brahman. So many hidden doubts are there. So it's not that Mananam and Nididhyasanam are to, because Shravanam did not work. No. Mananam and Nididhyasanam remove different kinds of pratibandhakas. Mananam removes what is called Shanka, doubts. What is this? Why is Vedanta the only pramana? That is what the thing is. Why is Vedanta the only pramana? Why can't it be anything else? That kind of doubt. What is Bhagavan? What is Brahman? How can I be Bhagavan? That kind of thing. Mananam removes. Allowing Shravanam to go and do its job deeper. So the pratibandhakas for Shravanam are removed by Mananam and Nididhyasanam. Nididhyasanam removes well-entrenched orientations. I am as good as this body, as good as the mind, as good as the senses, iti. And so therefore what? Therefore, for Shravanam to sink deeper and to allow Shravanam to do its work, Mananam is advised. This text that we are going to enter is called Manana Grantha. It is a Grantha, manuscript, a work of doubt removal. After these 28 verses, there should be no doubt that is about the efficacy of this work. He deploys a very unique methodology to remove the doubts that we'll be seeing in course of time. So now we'll take a 25-minute break and then resume from that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om